It's the countdown, the countdown, the countdown to Granny's birthday. It's the countdown, the countdown, the countdown to Granny's birthday. Y'all, Granny is back. And guess what? Today was the beginning at 2:05 p.m. I don't know what the 05 was for, but anyway, 2:05. We got to leave a little early from work. And my winter break has begun. Yay, yay, yay. I'm so happy. I love teaching. I do. I love teaching. And I think that's where I'm going today is Granny the teacher. Yeah. I started my teaching career, I think I was 17. 17. I was a Bible teacher, Bible school teacher, and I mentored a lot between different churches in town because remember, yesterday I said that I come from a long line of preachers and teachers. And so I started that when I was 17. My stepmom got me started with that. And I enjoyed it. I really, really did. Because I wasn't having that much fun as a student. Okay. Backstory. Y'all know Granny was going to do it. She always had sidebars and backstories. Okay, so I was 17. Yeah, because that's when I started teaching. 17 years old. And I was paying more attention, which I've always done because I love learning. It doesn't matter what it is, if I was in church or if I was in school or if I was in someone else's home, if a bunch of elders, whether it's male or female, if they got together, I wanted to pay attention. And it is not because I was a nosy child. I was a child that I could listen to what you were saying and I would look at how you associated the words with different things and I would pay attention to the other people, their responses. So I was very observant as a child, which served me well when I was in nursing. But anyways, yeah, that was a sidebar. But anyway, so I was asking lots and lots of questions. And the teachers at that particular time, I was in young adult. They put me in young adult because the teen class, they said I was too advanced. So they had me in the young adults, and then I became 18. 17, I started, as I said, teaching some of the Bible classes and doing a lot of mentoring. I used to come twice a week. One day of the week, I was my home church. I would help them with that. Then there's another church in town. He's a family friend. That pastor was a family friend, and I would help out there on another day during the week. And when I was 18 is when I say that I got kicked out of Sunday school, but that's pretty much not what happened. But they were very glad that my stepmom came to get me. They was very glad that she came to get me because of the questions I would ask. And my dad, he was happy that I asked because he said that means I love to learn and I will continue to learn. And he didn't have to worry about people doing a lot of snubbing me with different things, even with the Bible. A lot of people misuse that, just like they misuse anything. And so he was happy that I was always asking questions and always trying to learn things. And that's what I was doing. And a few of them thought I was being smart because I would also, if they said, I don't think that happened because that doesn't make sense, And I was like, well, in my head, it does make sense. That's the reason why I'm asking. And so if this right here happened, then why doesn't it make sense that this thing right here? Because if y'all say that the people that we're reading about in the Bible are real, then being that they're human beings, and in my head, I know that this right here normally happens, then why wouldn't this thing have happened? So, yeah, I was always stirring up trouble, as they would say, because of the questions I would ask. But yeah, I just love to learn. That's basically it. So I did that 17, 18, and then I really got into teaching. So during the summers, when you would have vacation Bible school, I would go to all the different churches around town. It did not matter if they were black, white, whatever, it didn't matter. If I didn't have a summer job as a teen, then what I would do, I would go to the different churches and ask them for an itinerary of when their vacation Bible schools were coming up so I can help. And there were some who would have their vacation Bible schools during the day, during the morning time, and there were some that would have them in the evening. Now, in my home church, they always had theirs in the evening. But at some of the other churches in the community, they had theirs during the day. So I would hit up which ones and I would look to see who was doing it this week, who was doing it that week during the day. And I would make all my plans and I would call them and let them know, hey, I'm available. And I would clear it with my mom. And a lot of times she didn't really care. I would clear it with my mom as long as my Sundays were free because my sisters and I were a singing group. That's another video. But so I could not do anything for anybody on a Sunday. So she let me do it because she knew I love to be busy. I have always been a busy child and I'm still busy. But I did that. I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed staying busy during the summer. Um, I enjoyed relaxing too when I would get a moment, but I really, really enjoyed teaching. And my mother thought that I was either going to be a nurse or a teacher because I loved doing both as a child or as a teen. And but my head, I always wanted to get into business. And that's the reason why when I was in high school, I took business classes. And but getting back to teaching, so I did that. I started my teaching career at 17 because I would go to these daycares and I would help out as well. Then, when I was of age, because you had to be at least 18 before they would hire you. Other than that, you had to volunteer. But they said that was still part of my teaching career. So, anyway, I have 20 plus years of teaching private schools, and this is year 2. I am on year 2 of teaching public school. Now, let's talk about the difference in the two. The difference in the two is the biggest difference is the regulations. Public schools are more government regulated, and private schools, there's a lot more flexibility, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I pretty much stuck with private schools. Another sidebar, I always have these. Um, a lot of private schools, you do not have to have your certifications. That's the reason why I never went back to school to get my education in education to become a teacher, a licensed teacher, or teacher with a certification, because in private schools you didn't need it. And I'm like, well, I don't have to have that in the private schools that I was teaching at. Now, some private schools you do need them. It just depends on their funding and the regulations, and their accreditations too. But the ones that I chose, I did not need it. And I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it because the classroom settings were smaller. So you had more time to spend with the students. And I appreciated that because you could build a relationship with them and with their parents. Now, in public schools, you have a lot more students in a classroom. It's not as easy to build a relationship with them or their parents as you would in private school. And as I said, most everything is government regulated in the public school sector because there's a lot of things that the principals can make the decision on and the teachers, and then the majority of the time, their hands are tied. They can't make decisions on certain things, and the decisions that they do make is because that's all they're allowed to do. Private schools, it's a little bit different. You have more control. And that's what I appreciated about it. I loved having that flexibility in that relationship between the powers that be and the employees, the teachers. I really appreciated that because it gave you a wedge to say, no, this is what this child needs. And in order for this child to be successful, we need this to happen, this to happen, this to happen. Not only that, there's more of a mandate for the parents to be involved. Whereas in public schools, you encourage them to be involved, but it's not necessarily going to happen. But in private schools, no, your hind parts are going to be involved with your children's academics. But I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed teaching. I have taught from preschool to adults. I've taught adults. The adults that I taught, um, they were intellectually challenged, and I taught them in a college setting. It was in a particular place. It wasn't actually on a college campus, but it was a place set up just like a college for them. But I taught them job skills. Now, in this particular place, um, there were people who taught humanities. There were people who taught money and finance and banking. And then um, there was me. What I did was I taught them computer lessons. And then I also taught them creative lab. The creative lab, what I did, which was my most favorite class to teach, I taught them, I had to take the lessons from all of the other teachers and I had to create hands on experiences with that so they knew how to apply it in their lives because we really taught them job skills and we really taught them how to take care of themselves and how to manage their own lives, which was so enlightening for me to be able to watch them to be able to do that. And so I did that for a while. I really did. And then I was married at the time and we didn't stay put. We were in DC at the time and we helped my aunt with her husband before he transitioned. And so that's why we were there. And then after that, about a month or so later, we moved back down south where you know, where we were originally living. And so, but I enjoyed, that was one of my favorite jobs. Oh my goodness, I loved it so much. But now in the private schools with the children, I taught pre-K to 11th grade in private schools. Public school, um, I taught kindergarten to 5th grade, and then during the summer months, high school. And what I normally did during high school during the summer months is I helped with the SOL camp academy. Um, it depends on where you live if they call it a camp or academy, but I helped with that. And yeah, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed it. This past summer is my last summer that I'm gonna do for the public schools. I think I'm gonna help my mom with her school. That's private, and that's where I'm comfortable. Doesn't pay as much, but that's okay. I still love what I do, and yeah, I'm gonna deal with that, and I'm gonna help those children get prepared for public school. That's what she does. She works with the she has a charter for her school that she works with the public schools, and she helps the children get prepared for public school. And I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy it. She's been doing it for years and years and years. And I'm just going to get back to helping her with that. I miss working with her. So during the summer when I'm not teaching, I'm going to be with her. But yeah, that's my teaching career. 20 plus years in a private school, and I have I'm working on my second year in public school. I enjoy it. Also, I found a way of teaching in my business. In the earlier years of Elegant Granny, I did a lot of lectures. And I think I've done a workshop. But it's been a while. But I would love to do that again. I love it. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love teaching. It's just in my blood. But I also love taking care of people. And I found a way of merging the two of them together, which is awesome. That's another video. But yeah, today I'm just wanting to talk about me as the teacher. Oh, so another backstory. As a child, during playtime, my sisters and we pretty much played school all the time. In the 70s, y'all know, 70s, early 80s, 60s, kids had to use their imagination. There was no internet for us to use. There was no cell phones, no devices. You really had to use your imagination. And you did a lot of role play. So, yeah, that's how I got into teaching. So that's another aspect of me that I'm using to talk about to celebrate my birthday. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed teaching. I really, really do. And I think that's something I would never stop doing because I love it so much. But that's all I have to talk about. So I'm going to get off because Granny a little hungry. She has not eaten since she's been home. So I will talk to y'all later and we'll celebrate some more tomorrow.